Live from Pahrump, Nevada, the Valley of the Dirt People, it's Tech Talk, Taco Tuesday, with your hosts, Jimmy Lewis and Logan Tyler.
Okay, you're live.
That is really loud.
Yeah.
That was really loud. You warned me.
Yeah, I did warn you.
Hi, everybody. It's Jimmy Lewis. I'm on Tech Talk tonight with Logan, who is now 16 years old.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Logan.
Thank you.
Yep. So I don't like to do all the Facebook birthdays and stuff like that. I wouldn't have known unless Matt told me. But congratulations, you made it this far. Only 2 more years before you really get in trouble for doing bad things.
Yeah.
So enjoy them. So you can all wish Logan his happy birthday. I wish I would have known earlier because I would have used it in the ramp up to the show, because I think maybe since it was your birthday, we could get the best ratings ever. We could go over that million that we had when we was it when we opened the box or when we put the cat on the show?
I don't know.
You don't remember? I know one of those things worked. I'm looking for new shticks because that's how this works. Matt, how you doing?
Doing awesome. Doing really good.
He's over there typey, making things work.
Interacting with the chat, making sure our audience participation is really good.
How's our sound? Does it sound good?
I just
out
asked
there?
them. Levels looking good on OBS. Levels are sounding good on the stream.
Right.
From the one
Mike
headphone I have
Shirley is in the chat. He's still parked at his green CP. All the cars went through about 3 days ago. Can I head back to base camp yet? My mom is getting hungry. So the reason we didn't have a show last week is I was out on the Rebel Rally, where I'm the course director, and I spent 10 days living on the roof of my truck, eating really good food, but camping in the wind, and then putting flags in the ground, and then having other people pick the flags up, or sometimes other people put the flags in the ground, and sometimes I picked them up. And then we were also rescuing people that had gone cattywampus, is what I'd like to say. So the way that this works, and this is 2 women teams in cars, so 2 girls in a car, like Jeeps and Subarus and all different kinds of stuff like that. And they basically went from Las Vegas up into northern Nevada and did a big loop and swung all the way back down to Glamis, predominantly off-road, 2,700 kilometers, I think it was, the course length. So
Was that all in Nevada?
No, it was in Nevada and California.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. 2,700 is a lot.
They wander around. They do circles and loops, but they don't have any technology. All they have is maps and compasses, and that's how they find their way. So Mike Shirley, who is Mike Shirley from Rally Navigator, helps me with the course. That we actually give them road books, so it's almost like they're doing kind of rally stuff, but a lot different. They don't have any instruments except for an odometer to tell them where they're going. So they use like a old school compass to get the heading and figure their way out. So I was doing that and had a good time, a successful event. And now we're back here in the real world, and I have done nothing. Well, I don't even know what's going on in the motorcycle world. Heard Kawasaki's going electric. There's Trevor won a race, and Logan went racing.
Yeah.
We didn't get a report yet.
No.
We're not gonna.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, we don't know. Well, we'll see. Is your result as good as Trevor's?
For my class.
Oh, for your class.
Oh, hey, that's better than I ever did.
Okay. Yeah, Matt raced up there too.
Yeah.
So we're gonna run into the show here. So the sound's all good.
Yeah, we're getting
even George. George, who's in our chat room, he was out helping me. He rented a truck and set flags for me. So let's see.
The chat's just talking crap on you.
It's usual. It's usually George starting it, and then everybody else bringing it along. So I'd like to thank the sponsors. We wouldn't be able to do this. No, we would be able to do this, but it wouldn't be as good if it wasn't for sponsors like Yamaha, Scott Sports, Climb, DDC, Trail Tech, Takamoto, and new to this show is Seat Concepts. I'm super excited about Seat Concepts coming on because it seemed like every person that sent in a Rooster Endo, which is, if you're new to the show, that's our segment where Logan tells me about your bike and he shows me a picture, and then I tell you whether it's good or bad. Roost would be good, Endo would be bad, and so now, since almost every bike had a seat concept seat, if it doesn't have a seat concept seat, because they're going to sponsor that segment, what's
Yeah.
going to happen, right?
The ones without it go a little bit lower.
Right, a little bit lower. I love my seat concept seats. In fact, I've known about them for a long time, and what really converted me was Andrew Short actually had one on one of his Huskies back when he was a rally guy. He had it on one of his kind of like practice bikes, and I had another guy that was custom making these seats with the suede top. You see how I have those on my bikes, and they started doing this, and Andrew had one, and their combination of foam and the way the suede is and the shape was so good. I have two more. I got one on my KTM. Andrew gave me one that's now on Heather's bike because she liked it so much she stole it from me. So I have one on my bike, and I got one on my new 2021. I actually got the tall seat, so it's super, super comfy. And then for the longest time, I've had the tall seat on my KTM 1090 and 1190 adventure bikes because they're really, really comfortable. And everybody wants lower seats. I'm not even that tall, and I want taller seats. So Seat Concepts, great place to go. If you need to check them out, they have awesome products. You want to talk about a Yamaha 2-stroke or 4-stroke?
4 strokes on top.
4 strokes on top.
For motocross riders driven to dominate, the Yamaha YZ line of 4-stroke bikes are built for victory. Visit YamahaMotorsports.com today to explore what's new and improved for 2022. The YZ 450F and YZ 250F brings the performance with powerful 4-stroke engines, reduced unsprung weight, and new suspension settings. For the full factory look, both the YZ 450F and YZ 250F come in with exclusive Monster Energy Yamaha Racing Edition graphic package. And you can take precision tunability to the next level with the Yamaha exclusive and industry's only first Power Tuner app. Visit YamahaMotorsports.com today. Find your Yamaha YZ and enter Victory Zone.
Good job. And George put up the seatconcepts.com website link in the chat. So here's how the show works. You ask questions, motorcycle and motorcycle product related questions, and we do our best to answer them. I can do about 9 out of 10 without looking at a reference manual.
Yes.
I'm right 100% of the time. Well, okay. 100% of the time I'm 70% right,
Yeah,
or 70% of the time I'm 100% right.
I think that's right.
It works for me. That's what I always say, and I've been doing it for a long time. I have a lot of motorcycles. I have a lot of experience. I hear a lot of stories. I get, in fact, like someone texted me today a picture of a blown up bike, and the rod did something funny. I couldn't tell because there was a lot of extraneous damage after the rod did its thing. And so the first question was, because is there a problem with this bike and this year and this model and all this stuff? I'm like, I'm not aware of that. And just from looking at the picture, it says, does the rider like to rev the bike too much? That was the question. And sure enough, the answer was, well, he just moved off a 250 and went to a 450. I'm like, bingo, there's our answer. It's just somebody that likes hitting rev limiters. I'm guessing 99%. So, you ready to hit the questions?
Yep.
You gonna read them off your watch? What do you got? Is that a new watch, Logan?
No.
No,
Same one.
same one.
I need a new watch.
What kind of watch do you want?
Garmin running watch?
Oh,
Yeah. I want one of those ones.
I have one. I don't like it that much.
Oh, really?
It's a dorkometer. Just do it by feel.
Well,
Run by feel.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of on board with you, but I do want something that like really accurately tracks, my
Right.
miles and stuff.
If Trail Tech made a wristwatch, you should wear that because it'd be better than the Garmin one.
I'm
Just saying.
looking forward to the Trail Tech Voyager watch edition.
Yeah, because then the watch attaches to your bike, and when your bike's doing something without you.
Well, I mean, they have a new bracket, right? That new metal bracket.
The new aluminum bracket.
So where's the
Hey,
wrist
2,700 miles on that bracket.
bracket?
Thing worked the whole time.
Yeah,
Perfect. Okay, first question.
C. Bosch. Hey, TTT crew. Curly Stoker here. So a few episodes ago, I asked about gas coming out of the air screw. George told me to write back with what I found. Well, I did correct the issue, but did it by fully going against Jimmy's way. Sorry, bro. It's what it is.
So what did you do, Curly? Like that? If you did it the way that I told you not to and it worked, I want to know, because if it's better than the way that I told you and it actually worked, I don't care. I want to pass that information along. So please explain to me what you did, because it was I don't remember the specific question. Fuel coming out of the air screw. Yeah. I remember I talked about it for a long time. So now I'm curious. So get back to us on that one. Hey, that's a good name. Jordan, what? Say it.
I was gonna con you into saying it.
No, I'll try.
Okay.
Jordan Huey Brigets
Said thanks for
No,
the feedback.
you try.
Oh.
What's his name? Jordan Huey Brixty. With a name like that, you got to phonetically spell it for us.
I
mean,
think
we're
he
not
has.
we're not that someplace in the text. Okay, what does he want to know?
A while ago.
Oh,
Thanks for the feedback on my handlebar question back on episode 105. Jimmy's comments were spot on about me falling off the back of the bike, and it all helped me rethink that I needed tall bars just because I'm tall. Unbelievable improvement after trying some other bars and going much lower. The much less sweep, much more natural. I couldn't believe how much better I felt after the last race.
how come you're not patting me on my back right now? You.
Yeah.
Logan, you should just reach over and start patting me on the back and say good job. After we obliterated his name. Yeah, no worries. That's what we're here for. Sometimes it's a lot of what we teach and talk about here is not the normal things you're going to hear. So that's why we're here, just to give you kind of straight, no BS answers. We learned this from my riding school. Oh, yeah, this whole show, me, Jimmy Lewis, is brought to you by JimmyLewisOffroad.com, where you can learn how to become a better rider. And as much as I like to talk about all the different ways you can modify your motorcycle, I think it's best to modify the rider on the motorcycle. And if you really want to modify yourself, you should come to my class this weekend. I have openings in this weekend's class. You can get in. You will come out. It'll be the best $900 you've ever spent on your motorcycle. And it works on any bike you hop on. So send me an email, Jimmy@JimmyLewisOffroad.com. We don't have any special pricing, though. Somehow somebody thought there was some special pricing for this class, and it's just regular pricing because it's a really good deal. The price is the price. Mm-hmm. Right, Logan?
Yeah.
Because if I had to start making discounts to the school, who's the first person that's going to get paid less?
Me.
No, me, actually.
Yeah.
But you, too.
Yeah.
It's a trickle-down economy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next question.
Kurt Rotenkubler. I just picked up a 2022 500 EXCF, and I would like a brighter headlight, but I like the OEM look. Is there a way more powerful replacement bulb?
Man, you butchered that last sentence, didn't you? Your eyes okay? Maybe you need a headlight on that. Kurt Rottenkolber. I think the 22s are the same as the 21s and 20s. I don't think they've changed the headlight design, but KTM has a really good way of taking the majority of the light and with that lens shape that's designed by an artist and not somebody that's thinking about putting it where it needs to go. And they send light signals up into outer space with those bulbs. So the lens shape is your biggest enemy, and it's gotten better. I mean, I think there was 1 year that they literally you couldn't get the light to hit the ground. You could take the headlight off and hold the number plate and aim it down. So they've gotten a little bit better, but still, this is one of the things that I would pick on all day long about the KTMs. So if you really like the OEM look, you can take the LED. There's an LED, not an LED. Yeah, it's an LED conversion kit. Right. And who makes those? Sick Ass makes one.
It's the guys up in Washington.
It's the Cyclops.
Cyclops.
Yeah. Does like an LED. They build a bulb that actually clips into your stock headlight frame. It actually has a little fan on it, and keeps it cool. They work pretty well. They make so much more light that it actually makes the light semi-effective. But if you really, really want to do it right, look at some of the Baja Designs kits. And if you want to do it right, and even a step better, Moto Minded, a company called Moto Minded, like 3D prints a really incredible mount so you can put the even bigger, the XL80 in the back of that lens. And I don't, it depends on if you're really, if it's looks that's driving you, then you're going to suffer on light performance. But if you want to get the best light, there's definitely some other options. And so, Cyclops can just slide that sucker right in the back and you'll be in good shape. I have one on one of my bikes, and it gets me out. It's so much better than the stock one. It is a marked improvement, but it's still a step down from the Baja Design stuff. So it depends on what you're trying to go for there in my world. Oh boy. Do you think somebody made up their next name just so that we would have to pronounce it?
Well, this one's easy.
Oh, I didn't. Redneck Supreme Leader 69?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Did Logan just say that better than you?
Hey,
Yeah,
that's why we take turns at it.
exactly.
Well, yeah.
So, Redneck Supreme Leader 69. Just seeing that name, I haven't read the question yet.
Yeah.
I'm really kind of concerned about what kind of question we're going to get.
This
I
is
think
off of
it's pretty
Instagram,
good.
by the way. So these are our Instagram followers.
Oh, Instagram followers.
Yeah,
you have to have
yeah.
a cool name on Instagram, right?
Right.
Did we check to see what Redneck Supreme Leader posts, like what his photos are?
No.
I want to know. Okay, go ahead. What's the question?
I went from tubeless to bibs. The bike has a much harsher ride. Can this be cured with clickers? 2021 XCW.
Whoa. So with tubeless, you can adjust your air pressure. And I'm just going to go that he has the same tire, just changed from tubeless to moose. And if he was running like 4 and 5 pounds with tubeless, and he went up to a moose that can be anywhere from 15 or 16 with a really like a desert style, a big moose, down to, some of the softies start out at about 10 or 12, and they all break in and work their way down to 8. Until your moose turns into mush, it's never going to go down to like 6. But yes, so can you change it with clickers? Yeah, but it's going to really wreck the way the bike rides overall. It's going to get so mushy. So, yeah, I think that if you're running that low of a pressure, that's the tubeless can be actually a real big advantage. Or, I tell you what, I'll sell you a bunch of mousses that are at right about 6 psi that I can't run anymore because the bead will come off the tire. And that's the thing is when you get a moose down to that level, it's shrunk down and it doesn't have any integrity. It's not going to hold the tire on the bead like the tubeless does. And for those that aren't familiar with what a tubeless is, it turns your tire into an air chamber and it uses a very high pressure tube and a kind of an encasement that encases the tube all the way around the rim. So imagine where the spokes are. You have this encasement in this tube, and the way that it blows up, it pinches the bead against the wall of the rim. So the same way that the tube would naturally do it, this thing does it, but it only has the high pressure inside of this encasement. And then then you can run, so you run a super high pressure, like we'll call it bead lock almost. It's essentially like a bead lock in a certain way. And then it creates, so some tires are really good at holding air and other ones aren't so good at holding air as far as just the way they work. And then if you technically, it's like you now have a tubeless tire. And if you get a flat, you could plug it essentially. So if you're curious about that. So, man, I'd like to, I wish you would have told me your pressures, redneck. Let me know the pressures you're running, and I can give you some ideas, because there's ways that you can drill your moose out, and this is what like a lot of the enduro cross guys do, and the way that you drill your moose out, like where you drill the material out, changes the way that the tire flexes and folds, and there's a science to it, and I don't know that much about it. I just know enough to know that it's being done. But you could actually drill your moose out and get that same kind of compliance if you did it right. But you're going to take away life of the moose. But it sounds like if you're running that low of a pressure, the moose will actually last quite a long time. So actually give your brand new moose, to a racer that needs a moose. Let them race with it once or twice and then take it back. Or go to the races and buy used moose from racers that are kind of on their last run of that, and then you're going to start with the moose that you want. Just a thought. Always saving you money here.
What about a tubeless?
Bob just raised his hand and he said,
Tubeless with a moose.
Interesting, you should bring that up. A beadlock tubeless. That's a lot of weight. That's a lot of complexity. And yeah, I don't see that. Actually, I'm testing something now that's similar to that, or it has that concept or idea or something behind it. But okay, next question.
Before you read that question, Logan did get a birthday shout out.
Oh,
So
from
people are
Andrew
celebrating.
Gerke.
Yeah. Look at that.
You know Andrew Gerke?
Not off the top of the head.
Okay. Well, Andrew said happy birthday, Logan.
Also, so that just because it's prevalent to a question that was already
Oh,
answered.
Curly, yeah.
Yeah.
Kyler is his
Kyler,
name, but
so-
we say Curly.
He said, I went against your... I went to... hold on, let me pull up on my screen so I can actually read it. I went against your way in the fact that I didn't just do one thing, then test, then do the next thing, then test. Also, the part Logan just read, there was more, and I did explain what I did. New OEM O-ring carb kit, new fuel line, new reeds.
What, somebody edited the question down? You don't remember doing that?
I didn't edit it down, but maybe there was a subtle read more that I missed, because this is... I actually got this from like I've been doing community posts on YouTube.
Right.
So I'm not super familiar with those, and I'm going to guess there should have been like a read more that I didn't click on.
Okay. Oh, right.
Yeah. So
Blame it on Matt. Can we blame it on Matt?
It sounds like it's a blame it on Matt.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
Chalk that one up to Matt.
We need a new producer, I guess.
At least that's the way that the damn question didn't start out.
Right.
Okay.
Who's next?
Connor Steezil.
Looking to get into adventure riding.
Oh, no, do the one above that.
What? Oh. What did you use to lube mooses?
He's got two questions in there.
Yeah. Have you tried Murphy's?
Oh, yeah. So Connor must be a new listener. Yes, I've tried Murphy's, and yes, you can do that because it's an oil soap. But since it's a soap, when you put water, if it ever gets wet, it'll wash out more or less, and it gets absorbed into the moose. So if you don't want to have moose problems, do not use Murphy's. It will work, but it will cause problems. That's all I'm saying. Have I done it? Yes. Do I still do it every once in a while? Yes. When there was a mousse lube shortage in the world, I went and got my Murphy's oil soap and put it in there. But I also pumped a whole bunch back into the tire after the ride that I did because I knew it was dried up. So, yes, I've tried it. Don't do it. If you can avoid it, don't do it.
Same person.
Connor, you say it.
Connor Stiesel.
All right.
Looking to get into adventure riding. Really drawn to the Tenere 700. Coming from a motor background.
That's a statement, not a question.
Yeah.
3 statements.
Tell him to send it.
Send it. Yeah, just another statement. Well, I think and Matt told me before the show. He said, "Hey, we got some really good questions on Instagram." I got Trevor to post on Instagram. I've been a little bit off the social media lately. I've just kind of been staying away. I've been using it a lot more like the toilet that it is, just flushing stuff into it every once in a while. So, I was expecting a lot more out of this question.
No, I said you can make it a deep question.
I can make it into a good question.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
right about this. I can make anything into a deep question.
Yeah.
If you're looking to get into adventure riding, and you're coming from a motocross background, you're in for a big surprise because those bikes actually feel like they will do a lot of stuff really well, like your motocross bike does. But when you add about 200 or so pounds, but you have the good thing is you're drawn to the right one for this. The Tenere 700 I think is it's a good gateway drug into adventure riding if there were, and it performs well, and it's inexpensive, and it's everything that an adventure bike really should be for someone looking to get into this. I think it's the modern replacement for the Kawasaki KLR 650, which is all new. It's all new for 2022, but it's still the same. It's the same bike. They just did what they had to do to be able to keep producing it. I mean, aside from making it electric. We'll get into this, I think, some point tonight. But the T7 it's a great bike. It's Blue Crew. It's Yamaha. How come we're not doing like Yamaha Tenere reads?
I'll put it on the notes to message our guy at Yamaha.
Yeah, find out.
I want T7 reads.
Because I have a lot of good stuff to say about those. I wouldn't even need a read. I could just say good things about them.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think we can come up with our own ad reads if we want.
Oh,
I think we could.
I'll you know what? I'll write stuff and I'll make Logan read it.
Oh boy, I can see this going.
Oh,
Horribly
yay.
wrong.
Yay.
Yay.
So actually, I do have a question for you regarding ADV and Moto. I seem to remember you talking about taking like a 1190 or a 990 to Sandy Valley one time just to put her around, or
I've ridden almost all the adventure bikes I own, and even no, Yamaha wouldn't let me do it. We actually started the Tenere 700 press intro started in and out of Glen Helen, and I said, "Can I ride around the track?" And they're like, "No, absolutely not," because of course they didn't know who the fuck I am. Excuse my French. Like, I just wanted to ride it around there just to do it. Just like, it's fun taking adventure bikes kind of where you shouldn't. But the good thing about a motocross track is that I know I can ride around it. It's not like going down a trail or, doing extreme enduro things. It's just like, it's just a motocross track, and you can, feel like, hey, can I jump and clear this? Because you can't come up short on anything. You've got to downsight everything. They have plenty of power, and as long as you don't hit the big kicker bumps, they're fine. It's just like riding down a really bad dirt road that has super awesome jumps on it. So I've done it with almost all my adventure bikes a lot. So Bob's raising his hand again over in the peanut gallery.
Don't forget to remind him to see your 700 Tenere review.
Oh, yeah, we have thank you, Bob. If you're more interested in that bike, look at the review we have on dirtbiketest.com. That's the website that brings all of this to you. The authority. I mean, who else wins the 24 hours of Glen Helen, right? What other, like, did Dirt Bike Magazine win it? No. Motocross Action? Not even close. Dirt Bike Test? Smoked them. Yeah, just like to say that. Thanks, Trevor. Should we take a call from Trevor, or should we keep going with the questions?
I think we should keep going with the questions for a little bit.
Okay.
Sean Elliott. The 690 is a great bike for road and trail. The extra 80 pounds over the KTM 500 helps on the highway. Increased oil change intervals. However, drivetrain noise normally prompts oil change at 1,500 miles, which is way earlier than recommended 6,000 miles.
Sean is defending his 690, which I affectionately call one of my least favorite motorcycles. It's a really good bike, but I'm gonna have to fight you on the 80 pounds. Like, I'm trying to get rid of 20 pounds, and like 80 pounds is a lot on the highway. But we're Dirt Bike Test, and I'm Dirt Bike Test, and you guys are Dirt Bike Test, and so we're just trying to find this. Like, the problem is the 690 is trying to be this unicorn, and we can't decide whether the unicorn is the 690 or the KTM 500. And you're just, if you found whatever podcast like Rider Magazine does, whatever their show is, it's probably like Road Cruising Thursday or something like that. I don't know what theirs is. You'd probably have a much better chance in that arena to prop the 690 up. So Sean, why do we get into the oil change intervals? That's a really good motor, that 690 motor, by the way. So I probably wouldn't change it at 1,500 miles. Next question.
Doug Oliver. Why do people have such a problem understanding the merits of this bike?
What bike? The 1090R?
I think the 390.
Oh, okay.
I'm a 60-plus experienced off-roader and have a 1090R and recently picked up a 390. For me, the 390 is the closest thing to the unicorn. You can buy right now. Less than 400 pounds, fuel-injected, 200-plus mile range, cruise all day long at 70 miles an hour, 100-plus mile an hour top speed.
Oh, that's pushing it. I mean, I've done it, but that's pushing it.
Off-road ABS, tubeless tires, effective wind protection, gravel road bash plate, reasonably comfortable seat with a cheap air cushion, all out of the box. Would more power be good? Yes, of course, but it is not hindered in any way as is, and I have no desire to put tubed spoke wheels on mine.
So we're in search of the unicorn. We're trying to figure out the unicorn bike. It's definitely not the KTM 390. So he's agreeing with a lot of the stuff we have. Gravel road bash plate. I would call it light grade protection for tiny pieces of gravel that are flying up at your engine. That's what the stock bash plate is. It's reasonably comfortable seat. I think in the adventure world, it's just a necessary ingredient that we need to have. It's a good, it's kind of fills a niche that's there, and it can grow. And when you dent your rims, you will have a desire to put tubed spoke wheels on your bike. I promise you. This happens every once in a while. So, thank you. We're going to get into some dirt bikes now.
Yeah. 2020 KTM 300 XCW full test. Christian Bryan. Great and well articulated video. Greetings from El Salvador.
Yeah, you know where El Salvador is, Logan?
No.
Okay, what did you learn in school today?
In school, it was
It's hard to learn anything because everybody was telling you happy birthday.
James the First, James the Second, Charles the First, Charles the Second.
The Brits?
Yeah,
The Kings?
So you learned about the kings of England.
yeah.
And how did that go? Like, what was the purpose of them telling you about these?
I don't know. We were supposed to learn everything about them in 4 sentences.
Ooh, that could be tough. Are you on to the presidents of the United States yet?
World history, not
World
US
history. Okay.
history.
They tell you about KTM, where KTMs are made? Austria?
No.
No? BMWs? Germany?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Oh, you learned about BMWs?
Well, not BMWs, but
You learned about Germany a little bit?
Oh, hey,
'Cause this is how my history went. It was like, where's that motorcycle made? You know, back in the old days, gases were made in what country? This is about 3 or 4
Italy?
years ago. Ooh, that was close.
ooh, can
try
I, Can I
again.
guess?
Not even close.
Well, he said a country that wasn't like United States or Japan. Okay.
France?
Nope.
No.
What? Okay, name a motorcycle made in France.
Name it Sherco?
There we go. Good. Gases were made in
Iberian Peninsula.
come on, you know it.
No.
Spain.
Spain.
Yeah. Like Montesas and Osas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Lamborghinis.
And what?
Those are Italy.
Lamborghinis are Italian.
Yeah.
And they're not motorcycles, as far as I know. I don't know. You, hey, you know, Kawasaki bought Moto, right?
Really?
Oh, that's what I read in one of this press release. They were talking about some of their performance. I'm pretty sure that's what I read. It was, I'm on cough medicine right now, so we'll see how it goes. But that was and Motos were made where? Were they French or were they Spanish? Somebody in the chat room will answer this question. But anyways, I think they acquired them somehow or another. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, so back to what was the question? Oh, El Salvador. Trevor, I hear Trevor in the background. Hey, are you gonna have screaming brothers and sisters?
Always.
Always. Hey, somebody said that El Salvador is the best place to practice hard enduro. You ready to go?
I mean, I need to practice, so why not?
Is it as good as Costa Rica?
I wouldn't know, unfortunately.
Well, you do a lot of press releases for Costa Rica tours. Costa Rica Unlimited, correct?
Correct.
Well, then you should. How is it? I would think your boss of that operation should send you on a tour so you can experience this. I've been there and done it.
Maybe. I mean, maybe now I'm a champion. He'll send me down there.
Oh, yeah. How does it feel to win the 24 Hours of Glen Helen? I can tell you.
Feels pretty good because I feel just like you.
Yeah, it's good. It'll wear off. It'll wear off really quick, and the reality of regular life will hit you. And yeah, congratulations, Trevor. That was awesome. I can't believe that pile of crap bike that I was riding around here with a tire and a moose or whatever the heck was on it when I was riding, it actually carried you guys to victory. That was good. But and it was a good story you wrote. So if somebody wants to learn a little bit about the event, for sure go to dirtbiketest.com and you can read about the senior riders now.
Yes, the old guy.
They're the main story up front. So why did the headset get loose? That's all I want to know.
You've seen my mechanicking skills, so I think that explains it all. But
so do you have a procedure for tightening up a headset?
no, but so we ran a GPR stabilizer on a couple weeks before the race and rode with it and raced it quite a bit, but found they have a tendency, because like GPR is like a special steering stem nut. You don't use a stock one, and they come loose every once in a while. And I just didn't check it before the race, I guess, and so It just happened to come loose during the race, like kind of the wrong time. But
My former factory mechanic, Dave Chase, God rest his soul, used to say, prior proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. And you almost let that. So, had that. It sounded like a really good race. I mean, it sounded like you guys are going back and forth quite a bit.
yeah, I think the biggest gap was after we tightened up that steering stem nut and stuff. The gap got up to like 7, maybe 8 minutes, and that was the biggest it was the whole race.
But if you hadn't had to tighten that up, it would have been huge.
Yeah, no, we just would have stuck really close. We probably would have like passed back and forth more. Say had like their fast guys run when our slow guys run, and then our slow guys run when their fast guys run, or however that works out.
Right.
Like they kind of pull away, then we catch back up, then pull away and catch back up. But yeah, it was a really close race up until 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah, that's a gnarly one. Usually the race changes like when the lights go on.
Yes.
Like the lights go on the next 2 or 3 hours, and typically that's where you usually have some issues because I think you're using some rinky-dink system that your dad developed a long time ago. You used to be.
Used to be, not anymore.
Yeah, now you're a factory guy.
No, kind of factory guy.
Yeah. And how did it feel to beat the team you ride for at Best in the Desert?
That felt really, really good. We could have
Blue
gotten
Crew.
second to last as long as we beat them. It was.
So was Hayden on one of those teams?
Yeah, he was on. So they had two teams. They had a gas team, which is like their A team, and then they had a KTM team, was their B team, and Hayden was on that KTM team. They had quite a few issues, more so with the riders than the bike. A bunch of the riders were getting hurt and stuff like that. And then the gas team, they broke their slave cylinder was leaking clutch fluid into the motor, so they had to stop every rider change and refill the master cylinder with clutch fluid.
And that's the team you were battling with all 24 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just to kind of clear it up, bring it back. So we're talking about the 24 hours of Glen Helen. They've been doing this race now for, boy, I won it on an XR600 the first year they had it. If that
I
tells
think it
you
was
how
99, 2000.
98, 99, something like that. That
Somewhere
sounds
in
about
there.
right.
Yeah.
And the reason we won that race because we were competing against YZ 400s and KX 250s, and it was at that point you just had to have good lights during the night, and your lights had to work. And we knew the XR600 from Baja Racing. We knew that was good, and we developed this interesting little headlight that was super top secret. I mean, we used to keep the headlight under a cover because everybody's running these big Baja style lights. We had this little tiny thing that was using these little tiny halogen lights. So that was literally the key to it, having a bike that was just, we knew you couldn't break the bike. You just had to keep it moving. And I think you guys learned that for sure this time.
Yeah, that was our game plan going in. We knew that gas team had good raw speed, but they're also prone to mechanical problems, whether it's in their control or not. They usually seem to suffer those. So we knew the Yamaha should be good as long as we didn't screw it up. And it worked out. That's
cool. Who was on your team?
We had Tyler Belknap. He's done some stuff with DBT, and then Jens Fullerton, raced with him a bunch, and then Thomas Dunn. So,
and who was on the gas team?
It was Colton Eck, Giacomo Redondi, RJ Wageman, and Nick Stover.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did have some fast guys on that. You can beat all of them, right, Logan?
What?
Yeah.
How come Trevor didn't call you?
It would have been too easy.
Yeah. You got to put your hat in the ring when this stuff comes up. You get on these big high profile races and stuff. I mean, you just told me you were first.
In the class.
Oh, in the class. Okay, just checking.
Well, Logan and I can do a TTT team.
Oh,
Just
so
you
now
know,
we have
yeah.
now we'll have the younger guys, the younger, slower guys.
Well,
on our team.
I think I'm older than Trevor, but we can do slower guys.
Well, Trevor, this will work out where you can prep another bike for the 24-hour.
There you go.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, that way you can hone in on those mechanical skills. That way, the next time, after the next time, you won't make all the mistakes. And you know what happens after you do that a few times? You just stop doing it, like me.
Maybe now that we won one, maybe we'll go out on top. We'll see.
Right. Awesome. So anything? So how's the bike now? Is it tired?
Honestly, the bike is remarkably in really good condition. Yeah, the only problem we had is we took a rock, took the ignition cover, and there's a small like hairline crack in it that's kind of like just barely seeping oil. But other than that, it's rock solid, ready for another 24.
Logan, you know how to do JB weld, right?
Yes.
Yeah, just JB weld to fix that. Just run
Easy.
it. Yeah, I've in all the testing we've done on those bikes, they've been the YZs, the YZ FXs and stuff, the WRs have just been. I mean, how many times? So this would be the third time you've done it on a Yamaha?
Yes. First time on a
And-
450. The rest were on 250S.
250Fs. And I
Yeah.
mean the one WR, we tore it apart after it'd been it's kind of like a long-term bike, and we tore it all apart, and it was like, this thing's still good. There was nothing that needed to be replaced, and I mean, it's just kind of most bikes are like this. They just, as long as you don't run them low on oil, don't over rev them, keep the air filter clean, you're going to have a fair amount of success. How silty was it?
It was probably the worst silt I've seen in a long time at Glen Helen.
So
They
having
grade-
it,
Yeah, they graded the ridge like the week of, and we hadn't seen rain there in a year and a half, so it was just like instantly just gnarly silt, and yeah, never got better.
poof dirt, and
Yeah.
so having that filter up high helped.
Yeah, I think it helped. Like the beta team, they went through. Seemed like every other pit they were changing air filters. Just like
Wow.
yeah, maybe not that much, but they were changing quite a bit. And I think we changed 2 air filters just because, and yeah, they were fine. So
Yeah, you don't realize how much when you're riding through those silt ruts and stuff like that, how much the rear wheel's spinning, and
Yeah.
how much it sucks. Usually where your air filter is designed to drain water out of, that's also where it sucks up the majority of the dust.
yeah,
When you're riding, you think about like I'm riding in dust. If you're riding in really thick dust, it's going to get dusty, but a lot of it comes actually from your own tire. So
yeah.
cool. So what else is going on at Dirt Bike Test?
We're going big. I don't know. Just got a beta riding impression up. The old guys, they ran that. A lot of positives in that.
Did they? So the old guys, these are guys that are my age. Thank you. They normally ride what, Huskies, KTM?
Yeah, they're all KTM Husky guys. Yeah, 250, 450.
Right. And they were all pretty impressed with the beta.
Yeah, they for that kind of race, they thought it was a pretty good bike. They did do some suspension valving just because really we got it from Dirt Bike Magazine actually, and so everything was pretty worn, and so they just revalved it to stiffen it up a little bit because they're a little on the heavier side. They like extra traction, but yeah, they revalved it and then took it racing. That gas tank, tires, and called it good.
And if Dirt Bike Magazine would have taken it, it would have broken the 5th lap.
Possibly.
It would have had so many modified parts on it, they all would have fallen off. I'm pretty sure. Hey, I think those are good bikes for that. And what did they do for lights?
They ran the normal KC setup they've been running.
So they have a battery on one light, and then they're running off the ignition on the other one.
No, actually, for this bike, they ran everything off batteries.
Okay.
Like they got a stator from Ricky Stator that was rewound and stuff, but for whatever reason, the bike wasn't running right. And so they just had to go back to the stock stator and use that and then just rely on batteries for their lights.
Did we ever figure out what the problem was with the stator?
Not yet, but I think we're going to get the stock stator to rookie stator, and then they can look at it and see maybe if they can find something there.
Because me and you talked about it, we thought that maybe they had rewound rewound it in a way that it affected the pulse generator.
Yeah.
So because usually on motorcycles, when you think about this, there's a certain number of the posts are wound to put power to the ignition system, and then the additional posts are wound to run power back to the battery. And we thought maybe there was some confusion on how that worked, or something got a little bit messed up. So that's what we think. We think.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe. Okay. So what's your next big race, Trevor?
Man, we got last Best of Desert race in a couple weeks in Cal City. Riding a KTM there, and then
You got a new muffler?
got a new muffler finally.
Yeah, Trevor called me up and said, "Hey, what are the battery problems that KTM's have?" And he explained a little bit to me. I said, "It's not the battery; it's something else." And then he found out that his muffler was blowing really hot air into his battery that caused the battery to melt. Yeah,
Yes.
it's funny how things like that happen.
It's crazy. But
So, Eddie,
Yeah.
do you want to hear Logan do the Yamaha 2-stroke read?
I do.
Because you've ridden them.
I've ridden one of them.
When do we get to ride the 125?
Hopefully soon. I haven't heard anything yet, but they said should be anytime soon. So
Yeah, because you're not going to that intro. Us guys over here are.
I'll go work out. I don't even need to ride it as long as I'm around it.
Yeah, look at his smile turns to a small frown.
I can't
Okay,
get
Logan,
over
tell
back
us about a
in.
YZ125 and 250.
Experience pure performance and exhilarating power with full line of Yamaha YZ two-stroke bikes. Visit YamahaMotorsports.com today to explore what's new for 2022.
You know what, Trevor? You're supposed to interrupt him. This is the way these ad reads work. You should like interrupt him to like break his flow a little bit. Yeah, so that's where you'd say that's where you just jump in and go, "Yo, dog, I've ridden that." You know, kind of you'll be the, what do they call that? The hype man? Yeah,
Hype man.
hype man for the ad. Yeah. Okay, Logan, go ahead and try to get this thing clean.
The revised YZ125 makes for the perfect step-up machine.
Wait, what about bring back machine? Because that's what it's going to do. It's going to bring me back to going to the track.
Yes.
See, that's how you do it, Trevor. Just kind of throw those kind of curveballs at him. Keep going.
Featuring all new engine, revised 6-speed transmission, new brakes and suspension settings, improved rider ergonomics, and new aggressive styling, and more.
What's
The-
more?
Um,
Trevor's
Ask
really
Trevor.
good with the specs. What's more, Trevor?
for the YZ125.
It says it has and more.
And more. There
Yeah.
must be more. Maybe they're holding out on us.
You should. It has a tradition of winning the Glen Helen 24-hour in its family.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
The YZ250 also delivers improved rider ergonomics, new front and rear brakes, updated suspension settings, and aggressive styling. For a truly race-inspired look, check out the YZ250 and YZ125 Monster Energy Yamaha Racing Editions. And
Ooh, I
for
like
the
that.
next for the next generation of
See,
riders,
it worked. You cut him off.
the YZ65, YZ85, and YZ85 LW deliver big bike specs in a smaller package. Visit YamahaMotorsports.com and find your Yamaha YZ and enter Victory Zone today.
Victory zone, like Trevor.
Yes. Straight to the victory zone.
Straight to the victory zone. After 24 hours, you can go to the victory zone. So, well, thanks for coming on, Trevor. Thanks for giving us a little insight on that. Anything else we need to know? It's where do we? You did a race test on the bike, and a race story,
Yep.
and a bike build. Is there a bike build story?
Yep. Everything we did to it, which wasn't
Yeah. Yeah,
But-
well, if you want to learn a little bit more about that, go to dirtbiketest.com, check the stuff out, and then ask questions later. Is that the 24-hour bike?
Yes.
It's one of our. It's part of Rooster Endo.
Sweet.
I did voluntold Trevor's bike for
Oh,
Rooster
okay,
Endo.
good.
but I
So you
didn't
might
tell
have to,
him about it.
might have to stay up a little bit past your bedtime to see what I think of this bike. What kind of seat does it have on it, Trevor?
Ooh, well, I will say I tried reaching out to see concepts, but I never got an answer back, so I had to go somewhere else.
Okay, well they don't talk to you little, the minions. They only talk to the high level guys, like
Now that I'm a race winner, maybe they will talk to me. But
Oh, yeah, could be. What
I
kind of
can
seat?
only hope.
What kind of seat was it?
it's just a Moto seat cover.
Oh, because you have to cut it down to put that gas tank on.
Yeah.
All explained in the race prep story.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, well we'll let you get to bed, you athlete types. Probably have to go ride your mountain bike early in the morning.
Gotta do something.
Try to get a free trip to Costa Rica is what you should be trying to do. Just take
Maybe
it from somebody
one
that knows. Okay. Bye, Trevor. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you in soon.
All right, sounds good. See you guys.
Yeah. Okay, we back on the questions, Logan.
Yeah. 2021 Beta 200R full test. Jordan Hinton thinks, now I want that thing more than any other bike.
Thank you. I felt the same way when I wrote it, and then I realized that I'm a fat guy and I need a 300. Next question.
Motion Pro MP metric tool review. Dr. Brent Cooker. Oh, hell yeah, looks the business. I'm getting one. Thanks for the review.
Okay. Doctor. So doctors are taking our advice.
Yeah.
That's good. We're moving up the charts.
Tour of Idaho.
Armadillo.
Armadillo?
Yep.
Okay. Did it in one day on my stock Fat Boy.
That sounds like George's alter ego. George's spoofing
What was the account name?
Armadillo. I think George is.
I thought George did something with cows, so I feel like his would be like something.
George
with cows.
digs holes on his property so they can bury cows
Oh.
when they die on the ranch. But yeah, sure you did, Armadillo. What is? See, if I were harvesting this every once in a while, when you see those, what do you call this? When somebody trolling, right? Yeah, it's trolling. So when I see somebody do this trolling stuff, I always go to see what they posted, especially when it's on YouTube. I go look at like what videos they have, and then I bring them up, and you start realizing that Armadillo's like, he's got a whole playlist of boy bands that he listens to, and then he's also into like mopeds. Bob doesn't understand this. It's like it's the new culture, right, Logan?
I guess.
Yeah. Next question.
KTM 390 long-term test. Battle Janty 21. Can you expound a bit on replacing the fork seals? My brother and I have both had leaky forks since riding our 390s through the mud and dirt of a BDR. I assume it was just due to typical dirt particles getting hung up in the seal, as I have had happen on other bikes. Did you guys find something more problematic with the stock seals?
So I can't recall. So he's talking about our KTM 390. I know I replaced the fork seal on one side once, and I think that's been it. And this happens, every once in a while fork seals go bad, but there were no dings when I replaced it. There were no dings on the slider, so I just popped the new seals in, and I think it's been good. There is a chance, and I do so many different fork seals and stuff that I've done it twice, but I don't recall. The bike's still there, fork seals are good, so I don't know what it is. But these forks I was real curious about them because I'd asked because they're WP stuff that's not built. It's built in India, and so is it a cost point? Are the seals as good? And the seals that I got they look like the stock SKF ones that I think they use in the WP stuff, and I put them in and they were good. If you're riding a lot in the mud, and for us, when I'm pretty sure when mine went out, it had been ridden in the mud a little bit. We'd had some rain and I'd ridden it, and so I don't think it has the same wipers as the dirt bikes do. Like there's the seal and then there's the wiper on front of it, and I don't know if there's the same protection from the mud that the dirt bike would have. I'd have to go look at it specifically. But your question got me thinking that I don't think it's anything really more problematic. I don't think there's a quality issue in the parts, but maybe just the protection of where the seals are at. And I was also wondering if there's more, since that bike's heavier, if there's more flex, and that would allow dirt to more easily get up into, past the dust, the wipers, and into the seals. This I don't know, but I haven't had a problem that much more. But if you are replacing your seals, always make sure that you don't have rock dings in the sliders, because a lot of times the seals, the tires kick up rocks and they flick up and they hit the slider and they put a little ding in it, and then that rips the seal. And a good suspension guy always checks for this. And I know some people that just pop seals, and it's so easy to pop seals in those forks. You just take it off, literally turn it upside down, just unscrew the cartridge, and it all comes out. Actually, you can do it without even draining the oil. That's how easy it is. Hopefully, if the seal hasn't let a lot of the oil leak out. But so I did not find anything more problematic with those. So answer would be no. Next question.
Michael H. Ride the way it was designed to be ridden as an adventure bike, and there are no mods necessary.
Yeah, I'll agree with him. I mean, you don't need to modify it, but hey, Matt, what?
Yes.
What happened when we reached out to that group that we got all the new Rooster Endos from?
Ooh, yeah.
It's like no mods necessary. I'm more in line with this guy, but can people help themselves?
They can't help themselves.
They can't help themselves.
Yes. By coming to the school this weekend.
Oh yeah, they come to the school and then they can put a better rider on their bike.
Or they can
and then you'll know what modifications you need.
Yeah. I do want to give a shout out to that group though, the Tech Talk EXE and FE.
Yeah.
They I asked for some Rooster Endo pics and I got a lot of responses. So those guys are awesome.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I saw Taco Mike on there earlier.
Yeah, I think he's still on here. He's on here as Facebook user still. I don't know what's up with that.
Oh, he's probably going in incognito.
Okay.
Kind of like his money came as Moped Master Mike or something like that.
Yeah.
Maximum Mopeds.
Something like that. I'll have to go through PayPal, but
We still need to do the intro song. Throw a kid on that bitch. I remember we talked about this
Yeah.
a long time ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually started writing the lyrics for it.
Wait, hold on. You're writing a song?
Well, Logan's gonna rap it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's working up to it, but it's
Well, we are on SoundCloud, so we can officially be SoundCloud rappers.
right. Yeah, we'll record it and we'll debut it on SoundCloud.
We have a studio.
Yeah, we have a studio to do this.
Yeah.
Yo. Like the hype, remember the whole hype man thing?
Yeah.
Wait, Logan, what would be your rapper name?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh man. Waffle.
It'll have to be something to do with the way he rides his girlfriend on no, that ain't gonna work. It has to do something with the way that you ride your girlfriend on the motorcycle when you guys are going out in the desert to make out?
He is under 18 here, so we got to watch how we phrase that.
Yeah. New girlfriend ride the dirt bike with you?
Young Logie Bear.
No.
She never been on the dirt bike with you? Nope. Saving those experiences for later. Okay, what's next?
Amandi Male. Spending so much money on a bike just to make it suitable for off-road, which he is
He.
not designed for.
That's pretty rough. Is the bike a he or is it a she?
I think according to most people, it's a she.
But is that derogatory or
Think
complimentary?
so. Oh, I don't know.
You like to admire your bike? Usually,
Yeah,
you admire your girlfriend,
yeah.
and you're a dude.
Mm-hmm.
So you should call your bike a she.
Mm-hmm.
And unless you like dudes, but
Just like a boat.
yeah, just like a boat, they're always she's. Yeah. Okay, so we've got it. The bike is a he, but it's okay.
One should just get a more suitable bike. It looks like commercial to sell different parts.
My video looks like a commercial to sell different parks. Damn it! They just uncovered our whole shtick here. We're a commercial to sell different parts. Those parts are effective and they did their job. Every single one of them. We explained it this way. So I'm sorry if we had a good commercial and you didn't enjoy it. And your bike's a he. But
All-wheel drive, adventure bike, motorcycle, guitar. That's a great improvement when it comes to motorcycles, especially all-terrain bikes. I wonder what makes and model was this bike. Will there be a future walk around with this bike soon?
he's talking about the all-wheel drive adventure bike, the KTM. It's a 1190. There will not be a walk around with this bike. It's still sitting in my garage. My cat barfed on it the other day. If you'd like to know. Well, it barfed in the general location of this bike. I don't know if those things are related, but I think she had kitty cat constipation. Yeah. It's a whatever year they made KTM 1190s. It was that year, and so 2014,
16?
16, something like that. We need to make another video with this bike. Not with this bike, but explaining it. Like, Jim shot a lot of really good videos of that bike while George was standing there he was kind of picking his nose. And Jim was there, just in there getting it with the camera. That's
2016 is that
yeah,
bike.
2016. You check the chart?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, maybe George could come here and film a walk around. Okay, next question.
KTM Adventure 1190. Always KTM. Perfect emoji. Fire. Jazz hands. Smiley.
Is that a mask? Is the emoji wearing a mask?
No, it's, I think, jazz hands or something.
Yeah.
He's just very happy.
Okay, that's good. That's my modification video on that bike.
Mhm.
Why does he like it when everybody else hates it when I modify the bikes?
I don't know.
Is that his name? Is KTM Adventure 1190? Matt, was that the guy's name?
Yeah, it's
on-
literally the
on-
guy's name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Well-
I just thought, the KTM 1190 is actually very happy.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
he's happy about the all-wheel drive video.
Yep.
Because he knows what it is.
Correct.
He should get a Tenere.
Oh,
He should go Blue Crew.
Blue Crew.
Okay,
Oh, yeah,
what
he
is
should.
What
He
does
should.
what does Dan Lund want to know?
Oh, I think that for the ABS, you can set up a shortcut with the up-down switch so that you can arm and disarm it with one push of an arrow.
Dan, if you know this, let me know. I've heard there's something like this. A lot of times these engineers with the electronic systems build in some things that you can do this. KTM also sells, of course, for off-road use only, like a dongle that a lot of times you can plug into the bikes that disable, or it remembers your settings. So when you turn it off or shut the bike off and turn it back on, it doesn't, quote, rearm itself. So, Dan, if you know this, please let me know. Andrew Ward.
Look up Christini Motorcycles. They have been making all-wheel drive dirt bikes for years. Nothing new.
There we go. Yeah, exactly.
I'm glad you caught that one.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
Yeah, well, I know. It's after like 6 million views.
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
should do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Logan, I think we're gonna take a small little break.
Yeah.
Are we gonna take a small little break?
We're gonna take a small little break.
Small little break, and then we're gonna get back into the Rooster Endo segment.
Okay.
So you can get your board down, and we can do this.
All right.
Okay, enjoy.
Since 2009, Seat Concepts has been dedicated to making the best aftermarket seats. More comfort, more grip, more riding. For 10 years, we've continued to raise the bar. Innovation and American craftsmanship make Seat Concepts the world-leading manufacturer of power sports seats.
All right, we're back.
We are back, and you can see the Rooster Endo board set up. Logan reminded me that there was dust on my bottle of cough medicine. This is a Willet, and it's not tequila. So, because back in the cowboy days, when you got sick or you had an operation, they gave you a little bit of whiskey. So, as you can tell with my voice, a little bit, hopefully, it sounds as bad as I think it sounds. I got a little bit of the wog going, so I'm going to have a just a little bit of this tonight. This is really good, by the way.
It is?
Yeah.
Suddenly another shot glass is going to appear.
Yeah, amazing, Matt. Here, I'm going to pass this over here. No, don't break anything. So how many Rooster Endos do we have here, Logan?
5.5.
5.5, okay.
Yep.
So this is a segment where you can submit your bike. You just have to email it to us. You tell us a little bit about your bike, what you've done to it. We analyze it. We give you a very honest review of your bike, and depending on depends on my mood. It depends on the sponsors of the show. It depends on a lot of things. That's why there's a picture of Matt's bike on the back of the board here.
Yep.
George's ATC on the very deep end of endo. Like this is endo and cartwheeling. And then over there on the far side, you might notice the gem of motorcyclemanship. That's a Husaberg 570. And it's up there because it has so much power that it's towing all this other junk behind it. So let's go. What's our first one?
Do you want to read the things first?
No, you hand me the picture
Oh, okay.
and tell me the name.
These,
How many? We've done this like 5 or 6. We've done it a few times.
yeah, but
We've
I
done
was
this
trying
12
to
times.
give it a little.
Holy
difference.
shit! This is a KTM 200. The very first year of the KTM 200.
Jack Penner?
Jack Penner is his name.
No.
No.
Lisa Mofat. 1997. Jack Penner.
Jack Piner.
Piner.
Jack Piner.
It was my dad's, and when he passed away, I got it. There was only 133 of them made.
So this is KTM Jack Piner. This was the. Was it the first year of the KTM 200?
Yeah, with the Olin suspension.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got to ride one of these. I think I raced it someplace, or I went to an intro where I rode one. What an awesome bike! I mean, just at the time coming, I was always been a 125 guy, and so, there was the KDX 200 was the 200, and when KTM made a 200, it just blew everything else out of the water.
Especially that model.
And they branded it. They branded it as a Penton.
Yeah.
And so, because the original KTM's were Penton, so there's a lot of history in this bike. This has and back then, Olin's had the patent for the PDS system on the shocks, which is it's the I just lost it here. It's the two pistons inside the shock body, and that way they were able to run without a linkage. And it had conventional forks on it, which at the time were okay. They were good, but for this bike, which was an enduro bike, it was just fine. And what an awesome bike! That's pretty high up there in the roost because there's a lot of.
Yeah, as soon as I saw the color, I was like, wow. I'd never even heard of this bike before.
They back then they actually let Meteor ride some of those. However many they were limited editions. They were produced like that, so they let some Meteor ride it, and I got a chance to ride one. I would have just taken the plastic off of it and stored the plastic and saved it. So that's a really nice bike.
Yeah.
Taco Mike.
This is just gonna put me to bed.
Yeah, this is actually
Wait, Taco
really,
Mike.
really good stuff.
Isn't he a sponsor of this show?
Yeah. 2022 KTM 350 EXCF just completed the 144 hours of Baja. The wheels are stock.
This guy sells. Have you been to Taco Moto Code ever, Logan?
What? The website? The
Yeah.
place?
The website.
Yeah.
You've been to the website.
Yes.
There's 8,000 different products you can buy.
Yes.
And he said the wheels are stock? Mm-hmm. That's the only thing that's left on this bike that's stock, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I think that's where he's going with that. Yeah.
He's trying to get. Well,
I asked for a list,
He
and I
didn't.
didn't get
He
one.
didn't prep me on this. I
The
just
list could be that long.
That's his way of saying everything.
wait.
else.
Is that's not his list? Is it?
No.
No.
It's a different dude.
Yeah, you can modify everything on these bikes, especially through his website. Does he have a white sheet for a KTM 350 that we know of?
I'm unaware.
Yeah, he should, so he can figure out what to do at it. What's on the handlebars? Do we know what's up on the top corner of the handlebars?
It looks like a phone mount and then a mirror.
There's a
Yeah.
mirror up there. It looks like is it a helmet sitting up there?
Maybe.
So
No.
we're looking at a KTM that's got a lot of parts on it. It's kind of so if Taco Mike tries to sell you this bike, I have one thing that you need to ask him: did you ever ride it down the beach? Because I'll tell you something about riding a bike down a beach. It will never be the same. Yeah. Yeah, I don't care how much WD-40 you squirted in it before or after the ride. It will never be the same. But go to Takamoto Co. Check out Taco Mike's stuff that he can sell you. Probably every part on this bike, and this bike is probably for sale over there right now. He has a disc guard on it. Somebody asked me about front disc guards. And I was very... I've never run front disc guards. Like, I've run those covers before, but that was because factory Hondas had them back in the day. And I thought it was cool, so I put one on there, and then I couldn't figure out why. So I stopped running them. So, okay, it's a middle-of-the-road bike. Does it have a seat concept seat?
He doesn't say. I asked him for a parts list, and he just said the wheels are stock. That's
The
it.
wheels are stock.
Yep.
I like that.
I run W wheels on mine a lot of times.
You know, I already forgot what the answer was to their question for us, for our viewers.
The question.
Yeah, it was like, what did the shirt stand for?
Oh, well, the worst thing was that so we had a really good prize
Yeah.
to give away for that.
Uh-huh.
If you knew what the code went,
Mhm.
and it was all things wheel. That's
Okay.
their thing.
Yeah.
And you'd really be bummed that you didn't know that. Just saying. Okay, Logan, next. I'll pin it. You give me the next one.
Mike Norris. 2021 KTM EXC F500.
Hey, we need to join some of the Yamaha owner groups now.
We do.
Okay.
Cyclops Trail Pro headlight assembly. Golden tire 216 AA front tire. IRC M5B EVO rear.
He's mixing the tires. That's risky.
Firm nitro mousse front, plushy rear, bulletproof discard, SX. No,
It's discard night.
yeah. SXS side plate. Emperor Racing Rad Guard.
Emperor Racing.
Yeah.
Radiator guards.
P3 carbon pipe guard. I don't know. That one. Corrupt. Carbon clutch cover.
You got the hiccups?
Yeah. Polysport ignition cover. A Cherubi's full plastic kit with Deviant ink custom graphics with metal sparkle flake. Highway dirt bike, handguard, and top mount.
What has the metal sparkle flakes on it?
The graphics.
Okay. Got it.
The TBT tune suspension. Takamoto Co. Tail.
Tidy tail.
Yeah.
I know this.
With Enduro plate mount. Get ECU with Taco Tunes and D-Smog done. Dirt Tricks rear sprocket and Trailbound Co. bar pack for snacks and
You should have got a DDC.
This bike packs a steel MS 260 with a 20-inch bar in the spring on a customized
It's
enduro.
the lasagna. You can go check on it.
Engineering chainsaw mount. Mount has
This list on this bike is so long. We've cooked lasagna in the time that it's taken to read this off.
Yeah.
So it's like we just went yin yang on the how things are modified. Like Taco Mike had almost the exact same bike, except this is a 500.
Yeah.
And Taco Mike probably had the 350
Yes.
brother of this bike with every part you could possibly put on it.
Mm-hmm.
And was there anything? Was it gonna? I like the chainsaw mount, but I don't see it. I want to see the logs he cut with this thing.
Yeah.
Zero pavement is what he's saying.
No, it sees minimal dirt roads, almost zero pavement, and spends most of its life. The amazing single track that the Washington State mountains offer. I absolutely love this bike.
Your bike gave Logan hiccups. I don't know. That bike. I'm sitting there looking at that thing. I'm saying 20 grand.
At least, right?
Literally, I don't know. I bet you if you itemized it up, it's almost 20 grand. There's a lot of stuff done to that motorcycle.
I mean, I think that's the longest parts
what's-
list we've ever had.
Yeah, what's his name?
Oh, Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris?
Oh man.
Mike Norris.
Mike Norris.
Well, no, if it was Chuck Norris, then that bike would be
The Chuck Norris of
dirt bike. That's
dirt
the
bikes.
Chuck Norris of dirt bikes, right
That's
there.
a Chuck Norris of dirt
Yeah.
bikes. Yeah. You got to be careful with messing with this bike. It might slap you upside the head. This, like, KTM makes a factory edition, but it's no Mike Norris bike. like it's like, oh yeah, that KTM factory edition. It's not a Mike Norris bike.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff on that bike.
Is that a quad ramp in the back too, or is that?
I don't know. I can't. No, it doesn't really. All I see is just.
It looks like two motorcycle.
Two ramps.
Because some people walk up their ramp with
Yeah, I
it.
was gonna say it's for walking up the ramp, or it's a quad ramp. I don't know.
He's done way too much to this motorcycle, but I like it. I don't know why. And I tell you, if it would have had a seat concept seat, it would have got over there and like, it almost would have been able to put its arm around the Husaberg. It just.
No.
Yeah, it would have been.
In no way, it's better than Ricky's bike.
Well, it's Mike Norris. It's like Chuck Norris.
Okay,
but
Chuck Norris.
It might be. He might be related, Chuck Norris.
You know,
we don't know
if
this.
he put a Chuck Norris joke in the description, I would have put it past the Husaberg.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Like-
Give me the pin.
Yeah.
Okay. Lacking the Chuck Norris
Oh.
and no seat concept seat, so it's gonna get in the middle again.
It starts with Moto. Contrabania Stia.
Holy what?
Yeah. Contrabania Stia. Contrabania Stia.
This is actually one that you forwarded to me. Jimmy.
Right. This isn't a trance alp.
Africa Twin.
It's a trans. It's a.
And
But it's the Honda. It's this older Honda adventure bike.
1998 Honda Africa Twin. V-twin 750cc, completely stock. This bike was denied entry into the U.S. by U.S. Customs and a very surely U.S. Customs agent back in 98.
Wow. It's probably the most emissions compliant vehicle trying to get into the United States that was denied. They probably said, well, the license plate holder isn't big enough. You have to send it back. You know what's interesting about this photo, if you're watching this, or if you're watching it on one of the videos, but if you're listening to it, behind this piddly little Honda 750 is a very proud man with his BMW GS. That was a 11. I want to say might have been 1100, 1150. I know this because I was racing for BMW at the time. There's a very proud man back there, looking at the little Honda. But both of these bikes are actually very, very good, capable adventure bikes of the time. And I have ridden the Honda 750 a couple times. We've had people that have managed to sneak them into the country, into our classes before, and it's a really good bike. You know that Honda did this one. This is the one they were. I bet you Honda wished they would have brought this into this country. Imported it like reasonably, because at that time BMW was kind of the only adventure bike, and Honda had one over in Europe, and they could have kind of established themselves in that game. Unfortunately for them, KTM kind of hopped in and took over that performance segment of it. But this is a really nice bike. But the BMW guy next to him scares me. So we'll give it. It's kind of this is mediocre night tonight. Okay, you still got your hiccups, Logan?
Yes.
You want a shot of whiskey now that you're 16? Oh wait, sorry, I didn't say that out loud.
Ray Corney. 2021 SE 300 factory. Race
Wait,
Tech
is this a Sherco?
Sprung. Yeah.
I haven't ridden one of these.
RK Tech head, FMF fatty, moose front back, tall Renthal bars, 2-par front rear discards, and clampers.
More discards?
Yeah.
What is up with the front discards? You guys ride through lava beds with like holes that you can't see?
Well, at least we know the next sponsor we should target.
No, some discard company.
Yeah, we need a discard company.
Clutch slave guard / case saver, guts, seat cover, dyno fork tube guards, IRC M5B EVO, rear and a Sherco front fatty on front. Sinco.
A Cinco fatty.
Yeah.
These guys are mixing tires again. Hey, that M5B, when I used to race and back in the 80s, that was my go-to tire, and it hasn't changed much. There's some better stuff out there, but there are a lot of the extreme enduro guys that really like this. I wonder where he's from. That picture, that's some red dirt. It almost looks like Hawaiian red dirt, but the trees aren't right. So I'm looking at the sticker, the off-road sticker on the side. I can't verify where that's at.
I think
Yeah, I can try enhancing and see.
California colors.
No, it's not
I'm gonna
California one.
enhance.
My money's on Arizona.
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 I'm
yeah.
looking at the registration, Arizona.
Okay. Yeah, that's a middle of the road bike again. All it's going to take is one seat to catapult one of these things up into the roost zone tonight. Okay. Matt asked for, if you are watching this show, San Felipe Bob, I love my 2021 Beta 300RR. Well, where'd you get that idea? Who told you about one of those? Yama Bob, who used to be Yama Bob. Like the minute we start, I'm all Blue Crew here, I'm all into Yamahas, and then you jump ship. Okay, next, Logan.
Oh, it's just the
Oh,
race.
it's a picture of.
So in my head, Trevor was still going to be here when we did this segment,
Oh,
and
he was going to tell us about
he was
it.
going to tell us about it.
You can read all about this bike that absolutely roosts and is the Glen Helen 24-hour champion on dirtbiketest.com. It's funny because this bike looks really good. You should have seen the haggard mess this bike was when he brought it over here.
Have a before and after on
It was,
tomorrow, right?
we were doing some testing of some stuff, and he brought this thing over here, and he made me ride it. No, actually, I wanted to ride it, and it had a worn-out tire with a worn-out moose, and
No, the moose wasn't beaded.
yeah, because it was worn out. It was like
Oh.
it was like a third-hand moose. Remember, we were doing some photos on it, and I do one pass, and like, nope,
Yeah.
I'm gonna die. It was pretty soft. That bike roosts. That bike roosts. It's
How much does that headlight
farther?
set? How much does that headlight set cost? Do you think?
It looks like he probably has two XL80s on it. Two. It's probably like usually the headlight setups on a race bike like that are probably in the area of $1,000. It's $1,000 bucks. When
Really?
you start talking about the frame, the mounts, and that's just the lights and the switches on the front of it. That's not the ignition that powers it on the back.
Okay.
That's
Oh,
about
Trevor's in the chat, and he said it was 1,500.
1,500 with the
frame.
frame and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's probably lights. Yeah, so I was close.
An XL Pro and a
Only
XL
off by
Sport.
however much percent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this thing came out really cool.
It's a good
Yeah.
good machine.
So I couldn't hear Trevor live when he was actually.
Oh,
on
you
here.
didn't miss anything.
Okay. Well,
He's still working on
question. One question I meant to ask because I'm not too familiar with the actual racing of 24 hours. What are they doing in the pit stops for that besides like changing the wheels out? Are they doing oil changes? I assume air filter changes as well. Anything else?
That's a good question. You should have asked that. We need to have him back.
He can put it in the chat right now.
He could too.
Yeah.
But so usually, I know when we did it, and I did it on an XR600. I know we did it on a CR250 one year, and I don't remember if I did. I did it with. I think after that I did it with the on a KTM 525 with the Dirt Rider team, more like a family, like a business team is I guess what we were called. But we never changed oil in any of those.
Okay.
We checked it. We had the ability to check it on all the bikes and check it quickly. The Honda, the 600 actually had because it used to pump the oil into the frame. And so we actually had a tube on the frame that showed where our oil level was, and we never had to worry about that. But you're doing it's just most of the pits are gas and go, and you would typically, if you're going to gas, you would change rider. So, and Trevor's filling in right now, no oil change. But it's usually just gas and go, and then depending on the silt, how much dust there was and how the bike was running. Like a good rider would tell you, hey, the bike's losing power, or I feel like it's losing power means it's not getting enough air, and so you would do an air filter change, and a lot of times that can be done not too much. It shouldn't take too much longer than the rider change. So then there's usually like one main pit stop where you're going to add the lights. You're going to put the lights on. And then depending on your pace, there's wheel changes that go on. And whether you need to have a wheel change, like back then flat tires because we didn't have mousses when we did it, or if you bend a rim or do some damage to the wheel or the tire wears off. So I think Trevor could probably let us know how many wheels they went through. I'm gonna guess like 4 rears and 2 fronts.
So in the chat, he has 2 rear wheels, 2 air filters in total, 1.5 gallons of gas every hour and 15 minutes.
Only 2 rear wheels. Wow,
Yeah, and no oil changes.
that's good. Yeah,
He wasn't riding with Moto heads.
yeah. Well, his guys they're all Grand Prix guys. So maybe they were able to kind of conserve that. Facebook user, which is Taco Mike, says, "Damn, my bike didn't make the cut. I had a seat concept comfort seat in there too. Haha. Well, no, your bike made the cut without the sponsor, without the list.
Yeah,
You were probably turned the other way. But this is a good thing because I might have said something bad about it. So
I did ask for a list. He just
Yeah.
said he just said wheels are stock.
wheels are stock.
Yeah.
That's a good list. So, do we have any chat questions that popped up?
Yes, we do. Logan,
Yes,
you have access to these.
I do.
This is like the roulette of questions because I've
Yeah.
never seen these before.
Mhm.
I might have caught them
Off the cuff.
Yeah, off the cuff.
My other question that I kind of wish I asked, but
Jackie jickety cakey G. What's the guy's $1,500? G Cake G. G Cake G. That's his name.
you're getting closer than I could get.
Yeah.
I'm not.
1,500. Yeah, $1,500. Like, light's not free. Like, what do you think it costs to keep that sun on?
A lot more. Than
Oh wait, that's
1,500.
free. Sorry, we're just trying to harness it for a light. Yeah, for a light.
It's for a professional race, so I would
Correct.
assume it needs to be pretty powerful.
Well, on some of my adventure bikes, I'm running probably $600 worth of lights on the adventure bikes. I mount. I don't mount the XL80s, but I mount the smaller ones onto the crash bars. And I've seen plenty of guys with that kind of stuff on all different kinds of bikes. But 9,500 lumens.
Yeah, so essentially, I think he's just asking why not just do the $550 Baja designs, and to me, it's like,
Oh, it's 2 of those.
yeah,
But,
there's 2 of those, and then the mounts on top of it.
but yeah, the mount. So they have a cage around it, so in case they crash, it doesn't break the lights. And then the lights are very adjustable. Usually they have knobs on them so they can loosen them and adjust them. So a lot of times in that race, you'll come up on really bad dust, and you can just reach up, and you can turn one light off and reach up and loosen the knob up and slide your light down so it's like low beams. And then when you get out to where you're going faster again, you can bring that light back up into the. Usually you adjust the one that's your close-up light. You adjust it down and you turn your pencil beam or your longer light off. But I don't know how they had their light set up. There's so many different lens combinations and things you can do with the Baja Design stuff that makes it really effective.
So my other question is kind of like, is there a What would be like a sleep schedule? Because there's what 4 to 6 guys on those teams now.
Four guys on the pro teams.
Uh-huh.
And so usually you get off the bike and you try to sleep for a couple hours, and then you have to get up and get your gear back on, or if you sleep in your gear or whatnot. But the biggest thing you're fighting off is just like cramping, because you're doing, in 24 hours, you got to ride 6 hours. I mean, if you kind of break it down, you're going to do 6 hours, which is a long time. And they're broken into, like he said, what did Trevor say? Hour and 15-minute stints.
Okay.
So you don't get a whole lot of time, but with 4 guys, that means you can probably get a little 2-hour cat nap inside of there.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, depending on how, it's kind of hard to unwind and go right to sleep, and then, whatever it's worth. But
yeah, Trevor's saying there was no sleep. So
yeah, I usually got like an hour-long nap at some point during the evening when I rode on those teams. But the biggest thing was just hydrating and cramping, staying hydrated so you didn't cramp. But it was a lot cooler this year. It wasn't like the years we did it. It was pretty stinking hot. There was a lot of teams that were getting IVs.
Mm-hmm.
Their riders would get off the bike and get an IV and different things like that. So,
And do you think are they like popping like gels or solid food?
Yeah, you're eating whatever you can, whatever
Okay.
works for you. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Cool. I
Okay.
guess chat questions now.
Dirty Doyle. A friend is selling both his YZs. One's a 125 and one is a 144. I love small bore 2-strokes. Which do you think would progress my skill?
the 125, buy that one. The 144s are a little bit of a mystery, because there was a few different companies that were doing them, and I've tried a couple of different ones, and I actually built one myself, and I used to tell everybody how fast it was, but it was really a ticking time bomb. so the thing is any sort of, if you want to progress your skills, you're going to need to put time on the bike, and the bike needs to run. So I'd go with the one that's closer to stock. Yeah. 144s are nice, but they're hard to jet. That's the problem, is they got really hard to jet, and you could never get them perfect. And then they were a little bit risky.
Justin Smith. Jimmy, any good scoop on the Rally of Monaco?
Morocco. Scoop. Nope, not really. No good scoops. You'd have to give me a better, that's a very specific question. I might be able to answer it, but I wasn't there. I've talked to, my guys that were over there, and yeah, it's basically training for most of those guys, because every one of those guys in that rally world, they're only focused on Dakar. It's just like bicycle racing. You sit there and go, well, did you hear who won the Tour to whatever? It's the Tour de France. And with motorcycle rally racing, it's Dakar. So everything that was going on over there was focused on Dakar.
Joe Wilder. Okay, what tool do you need to adjust Husky FX 350 handlebar?
What tool to adjust the handlebar? Usually a 10 millimeter socket. If you have to undo the ones on the bottom, I think they're 17s on the bottom if you're going to change the position. Those tools.
Dan Parker, 2017 KTM 350 SXF. The bike started backfiring, bogging randomly at various RPMs. This has gotten more frequent. I think it's the starter relay.
Ground wire.
Have you heard of a similar problems?
The first thing is check your grounding. Make sure that your ground wires are all connected. And if at all RPMs, right away I just go like, okay, electronics, just check that. And then if that's not it, it's fuel delivery. So check your fuel filter, your fuel pump, your fuel pump pressure. But the little fuel filter in the right where the fuel line out of the gas tank plugs into the connects to the fuel body, that connection, check that little filter in there. Sometimes that can be bad. I've seen water in the gas cause this, or bad gas cause this, but the ground wire is my first go-to. Just connect, make sure you're getting electric.
Eric Fajardo. So
Fajardo? You sure about this?
no, not at
Spell
all.
it.
Fajardo.
F-A-J, fudge, okay, A-R-D-O,
Yep.
Fajardo. How's that sound? It's pretty good,
Sounds more French.
right?
So for a weekend warrior like me, and sometimes everywhere weekend, for half a day, how long would a moose last me? I run tubeless on my 516 KTM, but I ride alone most of the time.
So what determines your moose life is how it's like how much high speed are you doing? And that's what it scares everybody, but there's a certain amount of high speed, and how much are you hammering it? Like smashing it into bumps. You can do a lot of high speed with very little bumps, and it'll last a long time. But high speed and hammering into bumps is what kind of kills mooses. So you didn't give me any of those answers, so I can't probably can't tell you. But if you're just trail riding, they last a long, long time, like 3 to 5 tires. If you're just trail riding. But when you start saying, okay, I'm dual sporting and I'm hammering into stuff like I'm pounding hoop-de-doos, then that's a little bit more like racing activities and stuff. So
Victor says, can a two-stroke...
is this the Victor we know that Victor?
I think so.
Yes.
Okay. I'm bracing myself for this question.
Can a two-stroke engine crankcase be repaired by welding? And if so, do you recommend a welder?
A good welder can repair a lot of things. Do I know one? I know some, but I don't know anybody in particular off the top of my head. But like usually a really good welder can fix this kind of stuff. You're going to have some warpage. It's never going to be just right, but it kind of depends on what you're trying to, what part you're trying to repair. Like the outer side covers, no problem. Once you start getting into the center cases, a little more tricky. Guys should know what they're doing.
It's 356 aluminum, so it's weldable. The problem is that it can warp if it's around bearing holes and stuff.
So we just got that it's 356 aluminum, so it can be welded, but the bearings around the bearings and stuff, it can warp. It can warp anywhere, and usually it's just on the sealing surfaces, like the bearing. Well, like a lot of times, on the older two strokes when they were racing these things, when they would set the bearings in the factory bikes and stuff, they would pin the cases to keep the bearing encapsulated because they didn't want it to spin. And especially if they ever rebuilt them, they could only do them a certain amount of times because the bearings would get loose in the cases, just a case of wear, yeah. And so
like the KX 500s had steel sleeves
around the bearing races, yeah. So there's a lot of different stuff. But yeah, you can weld it, Victor. Just take it down to Mexico. That's where they do that stuff all day long. They don't even blink. Okay, what's our next one?
Sean Elliott. Internal versus external gap for Recluse Radius XC. I am installing my new Recluse Radius CX, and I am having a tough time choosing the internal versus external gap. I like to have some free play at the clutch with using the internal gap, but do not like having to remove the clutch cover to adjust free play gain. I have Recluse on other bikes, and it seems to adjust every few tanks of fuel, more than practicing balance at slow speeds.
What bike is it on? Sounds like a cable clutch.
Could be a 690.
It could be a 690?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he say it was a 690 or?
No, but I'm pretty sure Sean Elliott has.
Has a 690.
Yes.
He also has a CRF, I believe.
Is the 690? The 690 doesn't have a cable clutch, does it?
No, it's hydraulic.
Yeah.
But I think his CRF might have a cable clutch.
It's a cable clutch, is what he says over there.
The 690 has a cable clutch.
No.
Oh.
Cable.
I
Yeah,
think you
yeah,
might
that's
put
that's what I was
the-
thinking. That's why I asked the question because like with the cable clutch, the adjustment you have to go inside. So
Sierra 450X.
okay, good. Thank you. So when it was a cable clutch, I always set the internal thing exactly to Recluse's specs, and then I did all of my adjustment externally through the cable, if that helps. So keep going with the question, see if we get a little deeper, see what he wants.
The ease of adjusting free play gain at the clutch cable adjuster is a big plus, but I do not know the clutch lever position with reality to my hand grip when overriding. I am leaning towards external adjustment because I feel I will keep it adjusted more frequently.
Yeah, set the internal the way that Recluse tells you to. And if you're using the clutch properly, you'll never have to go back in and touch that again. It's going to be right. And then with the cable tension, you can make those micro adjustments the same as you would with an Allen wrench on the side of your slave unit. But what I found is a lot of riders will abuse the capabilities of the Recluse clutch. They'll ride a couple gears high and they'll slip it. Then the clutch wears, and then you have to, if you wear the clutch, you have to go back inside to adjust it. You can make some adjustments on the outside that'll compensate for the wear, but if it wears significantly, you have to go inside to get it right. And then if you find you're on one side of the adjustment or the other, make a note. It's like, hey, I wish it would act this way. And I'd have to specifically know, I'd have to actually have the bike and try it to see which way to tell you exactly which way to go. But you could actually run it a little bit tighter, a little bit looser inside based on what you want to do. The whiskey kicked in.
It's actually kicking in for me too.
Right.
And I had a coffee before the show, so this wouldn't happen. Well, it was good whiskey though, I will say.
It is, yeah.
It's bourbon. That's why I liked it.
Yeah. So, okay.
Victor says, I heard that Last Dog Standing race is over for a while.
Well, I don't know. You have to ask Trevor Hunter about that. Email trevor@dirtbiketest.com. He can
might still be
answer
in the
all
chat,
of your
too.
questions about this.
Mitch,
It might still be in the chat.
Oh, so Dan Parker talks about the problem about the KTM sputtering and doing all that stuff was that little filter. The connection there wasn't connected all the way, and I've seen this a lot of times. People don't actually get those super connected, and yes, that'll happen. Yep. So, Victor is worried about the little crack in the crank. It's between the crankcase and the transmission. Oh, inside? How did it get there? What? How did you break that, Victor? This got to be a good story. So, okay. I think we're about to wrap it up. 100 messages we received tonight.
Yep.
Yeah. And if you got your message through, that's because you're one of the special people. Because we banned the other million people that are trying to watch this show.
Mm-hmm.
Logan, is that a blister on your thumb from your race this weekend?
yes,
And so what class did you win?
amateur.
Amateur. Just amateur, no displacement. Just
Two-stroke something.
two-stroke something.
Two-stroke amateur.
Did you have to wear like a mohawk on your helmet? Two-stroke
No.
amateurs with a mohawk.
No.
Not that guy. Just straight up two-stroke amateur.
Yep.
Did you get a hole shot?
No.
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 Passed a lot of dudes.
Yes.
Was it dusty?
Yeah.
But you were careful.
Yes.
That's good. Did you pass most of the people when they're on the ground?
No.
No?
No.
Just blew right past them.
Try to be.
Okay. Yep. So is that your race report?
Yeah.
You don't. It's yes, no, yes, no, yes.
He also wants some money. I mean,
Oh, you won some money.
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
First amateur through the gate.
overall, yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing about amateur is a difference. There's a big distinction between amateur racing and professional racing, and you won money racing a motorcycle.
Bonus. Yeah.
So you are now a professional motorcycle racer. Do you realize this? So you're gonna have to move up to the pro class because any other time that you go to race, every other amateur is gonna protest you because you got money, and you're because everybody's into protesting these days. So with that, I think we're gonna wind this thing back up. Matt's over there snoring. We've put Bob to sleep twice during the show. Your dad only once, but hope everybody enjoyed it. Hey everybody. And Jackie, he asked, what's the best organization to race with in Southern California? And I have two very, very, very favorites that are real easy to do. If you want to do Grand Prix racing, do an SRA Grand Prix. SRA Grand Prix are the most fun, laid back, great people at the events, great promoters. They put fun courses together. Do that. They're at Glen Helen. And the other one, they're also at Glen Helen, is if you want to do motocross, do REM motocross. So there's Saturday motocross racing. These guys have been doing, they used to race at Paris. They used to race at Dianza. And they, at Carlsbad for a long time. And now they're at Saturday motocross at Glen Helen. Really good, fun group. And you can see all the guys from Motocross Action racing there. You can watch all the kids from Motocross Action Racing. I think they're in their 70s now. So still going there. So okay. That's it. You done, Logan? What do we say?
See you out on the trail.
See you on the trail. Cheers.